If you've got one of these dreadful TU models, you possibly haven't because they've all failed, but if you have, there's a bit of a workaround. I've just been in my workshop and just tidying out a few things, deciding what I'm throwing away and deciding what I'm keeping. This normally would have been on the throwaway pile. This particular TV and its variants really was the scourge for all TV repairmen. We could never get the picture to come back, and I'll just show you. Well, if I mention the letters TU, you'll know what I mean. This is a UE50 TU, but it's the same with the 55, the 60 and the 65. I don't know above that, but it could be. But the TUs was an absolute pain because they'd go into a boot cycle and you could never get it sorted out. You could never stop the boot cycle, even by the world famous paper trick. Unfortunately, that never worked on these at all. You could get the picture to come on and stay on maybe for about a minute. And what normally happens with these before the it recycles, or before it boot cycles, the picture freezes and kind of fades away. And it's been an absolute pain. These are probably about 6 or 7 years old now. There is a workaround which is not 100% workaround, but is good enough for a computer monitor. And you know, if the budget is tight, it will give you a picture back. You will have some lines on there, but it's not as bad as not having a TV at all. So it's never a perfect repair. Of course, you do have to take the back off, which I will do. Now, what we used to do with the panels fault was always on the right hand side here, and we'd always put a little bit of paper around there, but that does nothing on this particular one. Let me just show you what screen we're looking at here, just to make sure it matches yours if you've got a 50-inch. But as I say, it's the same problem. It's the same chip that's doing it on the 55s, the 60s, the 65s, and probably the 75s and above. Again, if yours has got TU in the model number. It was an absolute pain. It is a clock line short again, but unfortunately it's more than one short, and you just can't stop it by sticking a piece of paper in there. And what you have to do is come to the left hand side of the screen, and you have to be pretty brutal. And I'll show you what you have to do. You can start off by doing two things, and I'm just going to point you here, and you can probably see, I hope this is in focus. If I keep the camera a distance away, hopefully it will stay in focus and you'll be able to see. But there were two resistors there. There were three resistors there. You don't necessarily have to take those off. I have, but I've compensated for that now, but don't worry. But you do have to take that resistor off and that resistor off. And when I say take it off, so it's 1, 2, 3. Take the first three off and then solder a little bridge. As you can see, hopefully you can see that I've done there and there. So the first two resistors off. Sometimes if you have a dark picture, you need to take these off just to boot it up. But I've done a compensation with a short on the chip over there, so you don't have to worry. You don't have to necessarily take those three off. Some people like doing that, but just the first three. But on the third one, bridge it with a bit of solder. And then I'll just get my power lead. Bear with me. I've got the soldering iron plugged in. Plug that in, I can lift it up. The TV has gone into standby mode, which is a good sign because of course it would never stay in standby mode. It would just do the normal power cycling rubbish. And if I get a TV remote and switch it on, I don't know which is best way to see because of the light. But the picture has come back. We've got a bit of flickering lines on the left-hand side, but it does bring the picture back and it does stop the recycling. And actually, from a distance, and again, we're looking at a static picture, you're always going to see interference on the back. But I can't do much. If I come back here, maybe if I'm not online here, so it's not allowing me to do that. I wanted to bring up some better pictures. There you go. So it's brought some, oh, you're seeing the backlights flicker. That the backlights aren't flickering. It's absolutely fine, I promise you. But you do get some lines on the left hand side, but you're seeing a backlight flicker and that doesn't happen. But it does stop it going into its boot cycle, which has always been an absolute pain with the TUs. So remember, this is only for the TUs. The other model number that was a pain was an AU. I don't think it works on there. It's a completely different panel. It's a different screen and a different chip that is used. As I say, it's not a perfect picture. It turns it into a picture that's usable for a monitor, as I like. I can quite easily use that for a monitor. I mean, nobody looks at the screen with their face that close to see the imperfections. You just don't. In fact, I'm standing a meter away now from the TV, and obviously there's the flicker of the backlights, but there's nothing you can do about that. Most people are a good 2 or 3 meters away in their living room, and again, apart from the flicker at the backlights, which you can see but I can't, that looks like a good enough picture. And it will just keep you going. It doesn't cost anything. You remove 3 resistors, and then in position 3 you just put a solder blob, and with that solder blob the picture then comes back, and it's as good as you're going to get it. So many of these TUs ended up down the dump because people couldn't do the paper trick for it. It just never worked. And again, you're never going to get a perfect picture. So if you're looking for a perfect picture and you've got a TU, the only thing you can do, I'm afraid, is to disappear down your local shop and buy yourself a new TV. But if funds are tight, which they always are, and you just want the TV to keep you going, and this is something you'll get used to, that little bit of flicker, unless you're mega, well, if you can afford to be mega fussy, that's great. But this type of video is to help someone that just can't afford at the moment, or needs to wait to the end of the month, or in a couple of months' time, then we can afford to get a TV. We can help people by just taking those 3 resistors off, soldering the other resistor, and as you can see, because it normally takes 10 seconds before the picture freezes and it starts going into its weird sort of mode. So that's the way to do it on these. I hope that helps some people. As I say, not the perfect answer, but a good enough answer to keep you going until you can afford a brand new TV. If you're not mega fussy, it will last for years. Just once again, you're seeing a picture flicker, but that's not happening in real life. It's just a camera shutter that's upsetting it while I'm doing my filming. It's actually a really good picture. If I maybe move to this side of the workshop, does that make it any better? Possibly not, no, but I gave it a go. I hope that helps some people. It should do.